Hello everyone and welcome to WWWhatwas NXT for July 20th, 2016. This week in NXT was built as a big fight night. We had 3 big matches and then a sort of unannounced almost kind of dark match with Austin Aries taking on a former Tough Enough guy. Really looked like that was meant to further his feud with No Way Jose, if that's actually going to go anywhere. But the meat of it was the big 3 matches. First up we had Rhino versus Joe. This was set up last week with Joe's return, and it felt really like it was just meant to be a squash match for Joe. Rhino got some stuff in. It was really a hard-hitting match, but it made Joe look great. The Coquina clutch to end it really helps Joe solidify. He's now going to be the big man there, and it's a set up to the eventual clash he's going to have with Shinsuke Nakamura. The second of the big fight night matches was American Alpha versus the Authors of Pain. This started out with Alpha coming to the ring, which is for their farewell match since they've been drafted to SmackDown, and the Authors of Pain jumped them, blasted Jordan off the stage, hit Gable with a really hard knee and slammed him onto the ramp. Then they went to a commercial, which is weird that they do in NXT, but I'll let it slide. They came back, Regal's on the stage, ushering Alpha to the back. Alpha casts him off and then proceed to charge to the ring, fight with the Authors of Pain. All in all, this was a match that helped everyone involved. Alpha looked amazing. Jordan being able to throw both of those monsters and Gable being hit that exploder on one of the Authors of Pain really is a good send-off for Alpha. It makes them look like, yes, they are the top tag team to come out of NXT as they move to the main roster. I don't know how well they're going to be treated up there. I don't know how well they're going to be used. But the Authors of Pain going over by basically knocking Jordan out and then finishing Gable helps them to look like they're going to be the challengers later down the line for the revival. But we tipped our hand that Gargano and Ciampa are going to be the new number 1 contenders. The NXT tag division really isn't as bad a shape with Alpha leaving. It's still a pretty strong division, and this was a pretty strong match. And to close out the night, we come to the main event, the rubber match of sorts between Nia Jax and Bayley, which is, let's be frank, both of these girls' send-off matches. Now, as I just said, the NXT tag division looks to be in pretty good hands. The NXT women's division has absolutely been gutted this week. We have on SmackDown, you had the drafts of Nia Jax, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss. Whether or not they should have been drafted, I'll refer you to my draft special, WWWhatwas, for get my further thoughts on that. But the assumption is that Bayley will be coming up to the main roster this Sunday for Battleground. So that leaves Asuka. Now, before the main event match, Asuka said, I fought Bayley, I fought Nia, I fight both. Hinting that we may have a triple threat at Brooklyn? Potentially? Who knows? Or Asuka's just going to be very sad that she has no one to fight anymore. Match started, and Nia looked like a beast. She just threw Bayley around, kicked her out of the ring, and Bayley is basically the female version of Sami Zayn. Now, I for a long time thought she was the female version of John Cena, and I still do to some extent, but I think it's more accurate that she's the female Sami Zayn. She takes a beating the entire match, makes it look like she's taking a beating, doesn't Superman back like Cena, but still comes back and wins. It's resiliency, it's the underdog vibe, and again, Bayley is pure, concentrated, happy. And my favorite, behind Jordan suplexing the Authors of Pain, my favorite moment of the night was the Jax Hammer, and I am being the first to cite that as a name for move. Nia Jax holding Bayley up and jackhammering her down. I haven't seen a female competitor do that, and it was really cool to see, and I'd like for Nia to do that because I think it gives her a distinctness that using a powerbomb really doesn't, since everyone from Sable to Awesome Kong has used a powerbomb or a sit-out powerbomb. The ending was good, and it was a really good send-off. Clearly we knew Nia was going to Raw. We haven't yet found out what's going to happen with Bayley, but again, it's assumed she's going to be Sasha's partner this weekend. Really good to see both of them off. Where the women's division goes from here, I guess we'll have to see next week. But for me, I'm done, and that's WWWhatwas NXT.